What's up, everybody? Front Porch Dads.
Episode 15.
15. Holy crap.
And we're starting in the car.
We are starting in the car.
Josh, you want to explain what's going on?
Yeah, we just pulled up. We're going to be following a private trail through the woods, and we're going to show you. We cannot disclose the location where we are at, but we will show you our journey getting there. And this is going to be pretty cool. I think you guys are going to like it. Stick around. There's a lot of cool stuff and fun stuff to come.
Is that the goodies?
That's the goodie bag. All right. We're on our adventure. Watch your footing. Your license plate. Oh, where are we going?
Holy cow.
So we're going to Harry Potter's village. Look at this.
Look at that door.
I like this little fire thing. The door is pretty awesome, isn't it? Oh yeah, look at this. I feel like we step back. Look at the. Just awesome or what?
Is there a secret code? Oh my goodness.
Secret knock. Patrick, good to see you.
Hi, Chad.
Patrick.
As we entered this pub, we were just taken back by the beauty, hard work, and the care to detail that was put into this amazing Irish pub. From the windows to the rough-cut lumber on the ceiling and the floors, the wavy plaster on the walls, even the small shelf with the tobacco pipes. Behind the bar stood 2 racks of shelves with a variety of whiskey that I personally could not wait to try. Between our warm welcome and the cozy wood stove, we have never felt a place so magical and inviting. There was simply no detail left out. To see such love that was poured into this Irish wonder will hold a place in our hearts for a long time to come. Thank you, Patrick and Dan, for sharing this wonderful Celtic castle among the trees.
Well, welcome to Front Porch Dads, episode 15.
Cheers, boys.
Chad, toast.
Cheers.
Cheers. Patrick, Dan, cilantro. Now, we are in a very special place today for our podcast.
Yeah, secret location.
Yeah, secret location. We cannot tell anybody.
Nope.
So,
It's a bar in the woods.
yeah,
That's about
that's
all we can say.
It's
Yep.
a
Why
bar
don't you
in the
introduce
woods.
our friends so you
Yeah,
don't stand there and look around?
We have our owners of this beautiful place, Patrick and Dan, who built this place in, how long did it take you guys?
A year?
A year.
Yes,
That's
a year.
insanely fast, though.
Yeah.
That is insanely fast.
Yep.
I could
Well,
build.
it was COVID. It was COVID. It was COVID.
Oh,
that's the perfect
Okay.
project.
It was COVID.
Perfect project.
Yep.
I was gonna say me and Chad could do this, but the way we have whiskey, it would probably take us several years.
I built my house with a lot of Jim Beam, I can tell you.
Yeah. I know. I could tell the siding keeps falling off on the
it
one
does,
side.
It does.
We went through. I remember that Glen Meringue.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
we,
yeah.
we were into Scotch at the time.
Yeah, we were into Scotch at the
Ooh.
time,
Yeah.
and
I
we
can't
went
get
through a
into
couple
that yet.
bottles of that.
We've kind of, yeah.
I've dabbled in it, but I can't. It's not-
So one thing before we get too far, we always debut what we're drinking.
yeah, we've got quite a concoction today.
We brought a few of them with us. So we have a Grass Widow from Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
It's actually not bad. And we Oak Eden. I think we might have already.
We've messed with that
I
one.
can't say this because certain TikTok knocks me off of it.
Chicken rooster.
Chicken, but YouTube don't care. Chicken cock we're drinking, and then St. Julian's out of Rockford, Michigan, which is delicious, by the way.
That is
so.
really
Yeah,
good.
it's very good.
That's really good.
So yeah, and who knows?
A whole
we
bar
might try
selection.
something else.
There's
so.
plenty of other options.
So yeah, we're on location here. This is a great location. I was pretty excited. Chad,
You've shown me pictures,
got
and I've been
sick
very jealous.
on our
I did get
previous
I
appointment,
did,
so we thought we'd delay that by a
It
couple
was
weeks.
really unfortunate because I had a fire going down here ready for you guys.
Trust
so
me,
I had to stay down. I just had to stay down here.
I plowed through work that day, and I texted him like, "This isn't gonna happen. Like, I don't feel good." So.
Yeah.
Well,
Now you guys
I
are both.
suffered through with some drinks.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. Thanks
Now-
for drinking on my behalf.
How many kids do you have total?
I have.
Between us or just
No, individually.
Individually. Well,
That's a great question.
So if you ask me, we have 2 children, and if you ever ask my wife, she says 3.
Because you're the
Because
third.
I'm the 3rd child. That's how it always, every time.
Is it
every
because you're
time.
shorter than her, or?
Wow.
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 Punches.
Wow.
Let's go.
Punches right
We
on.
Let's
just
go
talked
there.
about the shelf a minute ago.
I got the shelf, but my wife is
You're not
actually.
supposed to do that to them.
Thank God, my wife is shorter than me.
This is
Okay, this is gonna coming from a short man. I am the average American male height
I did not mean
to
that
the
disrespectfully.
T. Everybody does that to me all
But
day
you
long.
hit a nerve because
Oh, I
It's
did.
at work.
Our joke is
Oh.
always T-Rex.
I'm a T-Rex.
So
Oh.
I think we bought him shirts.
So
bought
this is
the
our
T-Rex
shortest
shirts.
episode, and
The
it
shortest.
just ends just now.
Josh literally said, "Don't piss off our guests ever." And that's the first thing I do every time.
I guess I didn't realize how much that sets me
Yeah,
off.
wow.
Yeah,
I'm just used to that.
It's going to turn into a therapy session.
usually does. All right,
And
Dan.
Dan, how many you got?
I'm gonna keep
We
my
have
mouth
5.
shut.
5.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Mhm. That was 20 years too late for today's society. Yep. 5 was
Yeah.
fine.
And we're not Catholic.
And you're not.
That was gonna be my question, but I was scared to ask after asking him that question.
Nope.
Uh,
5 is a lot in these days. I will say that
Yeah.
everything's expensive now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it took me a while to figure out what was causing the pregnancies. So once I got there,
Yeah.
It happened. Yeah, I think mine happened. The shower it went off when I was cleaning it, and it wasn't my fault.
Yes. Yeah. It just and then she took a shower afterwards and it rubbed off. And
It wasn't
this
my
is what
fault.
happens.
It
Yeah.
wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
So
so you both work full time, or what's the
Yes.
schedule like? I know everybody has their own schedules.
yeah. So you're a contractor.
I'm a
You said-
contractor. I am the most grateful person in the world for what I get to do and my business, in the sense of I never intended to start a business. It just is. It was natural, and now I own my own business. So now, for the first time in my life, I genuinely have the ability to just go. I do whatever I want to a point. I still work really hard, and I have lots of amazing employees, and
That's
but
awesome.
that now is allowing me to have some more free time to do other things.
Yep. And how long have you been in the whole construction thing? Like your entire life?
27 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I started at 17. I worked for my cousin, and just always been in
Yep.
construction, and it
Wow.
works. So
he's a master craftsman. I mean, he said that we built this together, or maybe one of you did, but I mean, this doesn't happen without him. I swung hammers where he told me to swing hammers, cut things where he told me to cut them, but this is his vision. He built it without any plans or anything. I mean, there's a couple of drawings up on the wall that was in his head. And we're around playing euchre one night, and he's like, "Hey, what about a pub in the woods?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds good." And I was
Every
like,
man's dream right
well, like,
there.
like what? And he just sketches it out real quick, and like this comes from just in his head, which
That's
is amazing.
great.
So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, he's pretty humble about it, but he's an amazing craftsman.
Dan, I really appreciate you've never said that before. I mean, it's just like,
Look at that.
it's
Well, we're
nice.
gonna strike that from the
He's like, you complete me.
I was just gonna say, how long have you two been friends? And then he gets all emotional. That's great. I love it. 5 minutes in, I got him crying.
I
Yeah,
know.
he's like, you just made fun of me about my
So
height. Now you're telling me.
So he's been
It's a
mad,
roller
he's
coaster.
crying.
It's a roller coaster.
He's like, I don't want
It's
to
like
be
a good
angry or
movie.
sad
You
or
gotta
happy.
have every emotion in the movie.
That's right. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And
So
then-
what's your? Oh, go ahead.
what do you normally do for your
Yeah.
what's your
normally? Yeah, no. So I'm in sales. So I'm a regional sales manager
Okay.
for global lighting manufacturer.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did we get these lights anywhere?
No,
No.
so, yeah, no, I'm in the industrial space.
Okay,
so-
industrial.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep, so
warehouses
wrong,
and
yeah.
whatnot. Yeah.
He
okay.
welded them himself.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
handcraft.
And
Spun
so-
the
so
wire.
he took the opportunity to stroke my ego. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Over the years, he started literally in light bulb sales. He sold light bulbs. You know,
Wow.
very basic.
Interesting.
You know, and he worked his way up. Here's the thing: is obviously he's successful. He has a good job. Takes care of his family. He's doing really well. This man, I don't know how he's a salesman because he's so honest and so kind. And every guy he brings down here that's, you know, salesman, not every guy, but a lot of them are like, oh yeah, that's a salesman. That's a salesman. He manages to do really well at his job without being a schmuck.
Gotcha.
You
Not
know-
the typical.
So you're saying honesty actually?
Yeah, right.
Well,
Sounds
no,
good, right?
no, and he has to believe in his products.
Oh, yeah.
You know that those are all important things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
No, he's not just a lighting salesman or a fixture salesman.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Fixtures-
you. Fixture.
fixtures
Good
and
job.
salesman.
Good job.
You know,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long have you two been friends?
Oh,
What has it
God.
been? 19, 20, I mean, we've known each other.
We've known each other for 20 years.
20 years. Yep.
We've been friends. I think it took 3 or 4 years to
Yeah.
really become friends.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, we met because
we moved in.
They moved
we
in
moved. We moved
across
in.
the street.
They
Yeah,
had moved
so-
in a year before us.
Yeah.
Then we moved in.
They're almost like the Josh and Chad.
I'm seeing
Wow.
bearded,
This has
not
a lot
bearded,
of,
like aftershave.
yeah, this is a lot of resemblance here. Same amount of years.
Are you gonna
about,
build me, or do I have to build it? He's got
Yeah,
the
you
beard.
gotta
Except he
build
took
the-
my
yeah.
ex-wife to
Okay.
prom.
So let's go down. We're gonna go. You took his ex.
I didn't. Never mind. We're
took-
not going down that road yet.
Wow.
Aha.
Anyways, you're taking my wife to Greece.
I didn't like him when I first met him.
No.
So we went to a house party, and
I don't think we've ever said this.
on the way there, I get informed by my ex-wife, oh, by the way, I went to prom with him, and I had a crush on him and everything else back in high school. And I'm like, oh, that's a great, we're on our way there. So now I feel wonderful about this whole thing, you know? So I get there, and so I'm like, I'm going to hate this guy. So we get there, I think we talked for about 15 minutes, and all of a sudden we're like, did we just become best friends?
Yep.
And we've been friends ever since. So.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Even after divorce, he kept me, and you know,
I did keep you.
he got
Yeah.
custody. He got
Yeah,
custody.
got
and-
custody.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
I think that's the nicest thing you've ever told me.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Is this like a confession bar? I love this.
It's
I felt left
it's
out.
a confessional.
I felt left
It's a
out.
Catholic confessional. Yep.
I had to make a bunch of stuff up, but I'm just kidding.
So married, divorced, widowed. What's
Nope.
the
We're both happily married.
Good.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Going
We are
on.
both. We are, I think, both proof of marriage is this long, hard, arduous road.
Mm-hmm.
You stick to it, but I'm going to tell you right now, this guy's helped me through some of the darkest times.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
It's funny how that, you
Yeah.
know, you
Mm-hmm.
help
And I
each
mean-
other rotate
Yep.
through
Yep.
life.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. You guys are about the same as us, and we're coming up on 22 years.
We just passed 20.
You just passed 20. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And we've seen the bottom. I've seen the bottom.
Yep.
You know, I've seen the bottom, and I never thought that I'd make it through, and I did, and now I love my wife. I think she's a great, amazing woman, and she puts up with me, and
Mm-hmm.
I put up with her.
Well, marriage is we always talk about this in the pods.
You
but
just celebrated your 10th, right?
my
10th?
what?
10th?
Wife?
10th wife?
10th
Tenth-
wife? No,
10th
year
wife.
anniversary.
No, 15.
Oh,
Oh, 15.
wow.
Sorry,
15.
2009.
15.
15.
Okay.
15.
Yeah, 15, because this would have been my
Yeah.
18th coming up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would have been.
So we just went to Europe for 16 days in September for our 20th anniversary with no kids.
Wow.
We did.
What's that like?
We did not. We did not argue, have a disagreement, or have one problem for 16 days. Not one. Not the slightest. Shit hit the fan. You know, we had issues with traveling and all these different things. The day we got home,
Ugh.
we went to go pick up the kids. We were at her parents' house, and she started yelling at me. It's the kids. It's the kids. It's the kids. Every single time, it's the kids.
Yeah, I believe it.
No, it's the kids.
You've been through the hardest part
before we had kids, we got along great.
Yeah.
Right.
And then kids come along and you start arguing about stupid little stuff.
Oh,
and then you
sure.
get more kids, and then it's just like chaos. So one kid, it's 2-on-1. You're good.
Yeah.
2 kids, it's man-on-man defense. You're good.
Yep.
You know, then you have 3, you're a little
5,
outnumbered.
5.
You're a little bit outnumbered.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then you have 5, and
3,
it's
it
just
just
like,
doesn't matter.
it's just chaos.
That's what he says
It's
too.
like
After
kids
the
are
third
hanging
one,
out
it
at the
doesn't matter.
yeah, it's
Somebody's
like,
in the house, somebody ate the
yeah,
food.
I mean,
And so I mean, like, to this point, without kids, you know, there can be fewer distractions, fewer arguments. Also, with kids, that can sometimes also bring you together because you're like those freaking kids, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I can
you know,
see that.
And so you have that camaraderie sometimes too, and you know.
The worst thing is how much you love those little freaking nightmares. Like the intense, super intense love that you would sell your soul to the devil to keep them safe, yet you want to murder them. Like in one fell
That's a
swoop.
strong
He
word.
said that. Now
I ask a say.
we're just going to be clear.
Right. Right.
If there's ever an issue.
Yeah. Back to the emotional roller coaster, you know.
no, that's awesome.
No, marriage is tough. We've talked about that, and I feel like couples nowadays don't realize that, you know, you're both learning.
Yeah.
You know, you're both
That's the
going through
truth.
life at the same time. Your first kid, your second,
and
your third.
You're gonna have your ups and downs
Right.
and everything else.
Grocery bills
It's
at
just,
$100 a week, you know, whatever it is. Like,
you know,
always stressful.
my grandparents were married for like 60 years, and I remember my grandpa telling me, he goes, you know, a secret to a good marriage. He goes, there is no good marriage. He goes, there's parts. He goes, I wanted to just almost the word you
Yeah,
said,
be done,
almost,
just be done,
almost
yep.
murder your wife to the point where he goes, you know, it gets so bad where you just have to step away for a little bit. He's like, the reason why marriages last, because both of them don't give up. He
Right,
goes, you're gonna
right,
go through that. He goes,
right.
You can work through
Like
those.
100%.
He goes, it might be bad for a year. He goes, but you're gonna get by it.
Yeah. And
Think
that's
about
where,
it,
you know, we've had, you know, like everybody,
Yeah.
these times of just like slogging through the mire. And at the end of it, you're going, okay, like you both want the same thing. You both want to, you know, if you do, like, both
Right.
want to be together and you both want to be loved. And so, like, there's that common purpose or desire, but sometimes you're just not speaking the same language, you know?
Right.
And so if you can have that, then I feel like you can get through a lot.
So you guys like to try and touch on all the topics.
Yeah.
In the sense of he just said something that I think is really key to me. And as men, I want love. And I want love in the way that I think a lot of women historically think as weak.
Yes.
And I know the way my wife was raised, she saw that as weakness. And so that was, I picture it as it's not her fault. To emotion and the desire for affection is viewed as weakness. It's not. If you fulfill that need, that makes me stronger in my male sense. Like my desire to protect you is because you're fulfilling the need that I have.
Right.
And I think that is a very key thing that needs to be heard over and over. It's not bad to show that desire. That's not weakness.
No.
That's not weakness at all. It's need. It's natural. And to reciprocate that from the woman, you just get it back in tenfold. If you open your heart and accept the man for being, that's the equal thing. That's
Human,
the
you're
equal
human.
thing.
Yeah,
you're
flawed,
human.
Yeah, flawed
you know,
human. You want qualities. I mean,
you know, you'll get it back tenfold.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of in the same boat you are. Like I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'll get very loving or I'll get very angry or somewhere
Right.
in between. And I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, you gotta hug me or kiss me once in a while, and you gotta tell me I'm doing a good job. Because I'll slug through hell, I'll do the 10-hour
we
shifts.
we had that discussion on the last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
So,
and
you know,
but
a guy doesn't
if I
mind.
don't get any nourishment,
Yeah.
like I'm not a physical guy, but like the touch, you know, of my wife, the hug of my wife, the kiss of my wife. I mean, I'm good. The smell, like I tell my wife all the time, you were a candy bar, I just sniff that candy bar all the time because I just love her scent.
That's
Call me
awesome
weird,
that you
but-
say that, because I feel the exact same way. And it doesn't, and this is another thing in society. That does not mean that you want to jump on her and have sex with her.
No, I just
No,
like
it means
her.
you want to just you just
Yeah.
can't get enough of that.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah, and you know that whole thing about feeling appreciative, like we're talking, like a guy will work his ass off to the bone,
Oh,
as
sure.
long as he feels appreciative for what he's doing once in a while.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
It's those little things. Just like a woman, you know, women are more emotional, so they need to feel that safety net, you know, of
Yes.
feeling, you know, make sure they're being heard and this and that, and you know, guys are just different animals.
Well, I
We
think what
just wanna-
Patrick was talking about is kind of the old generation, right? Like I'm so used to old farmers that are stuck in their ways. My dad and my grandfather, and my dad was pretty emotional, but my grandfather was not. I mean, he
Right.
never even said I love you until he was
Right.
70s or 80s. You know, so that angle of life I feel like is starting to go away, and the realization of, hey, men are human. You know, and especially in a day and age where the wife or the husband can be the breadwinner, or
Right.
both of you can be the breadwinner.
right.
We are equal. Like I am not just a rock to stand on. I am also a human being. You know.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hard transition, especially
Yeah.
when there is baggage from
Oh yeah.
from your upbringing. You know, on both sides. You've got, you know, wives that have grown up one way because of, you know, just cultural norms, and guys that are brought up one way, and we're kind of growing in this like, wait a second, I'm not just this tough guy that's going to go out and be the, you know, I'm going to breadwinner. I'm just going to, you know, protect you and coddle you and all, like, because you don't want that either.
No, I don't.
Like,
No.
my wife doesn't want that.
Uh-uh.
She wants somebody who is equal, that can be intelligent like she
Right.
is, and can talk to her about things, that can help out around the house just as she is. Like, it's not her. It's a give and take, but it's like a 50-50. And we're just not. We don't see that. We haven't seen that modeled.
Right.
I at least.
No,
Yeah, we're creating a
We're-
whole new
yes.
style of living, and it absolutely can go down the wrong road
Well,
because
so-
people don't know what we're supposed
Yeah.
to be doing.
For instance, like, okay, if there was something that came up in my parents, my dad was the final say. Period. Done. And I'm not saying this is the right way to, but like in our relationship, I don't have the final say.
Right.
Like, we're gonna figure this out together, but that can be really hard, because what if
Sure.
we're at a completely opposite end?
Yeah.
Then what happens? Well, it's easy 50 years ago or 20 or 30, whatever,
Right.
because it's like, oh, I'm the man.
Yeah.
I get the final say.
Right.
Done.
Yep.
And so it's just different, you know.
And women are trying to figure out how to fit themselves into that scenario too, because it used to be the man said it, it's done, like you're
Right.
saying. Well, now there are girls, and I think there's the generation I think younger than us. They're really starting to go, well, aren't you supposed to just take care of me? Well, no, because back in the day, the guy who said he was done, the wife did so much.
Everything else.
So
Yeah.
much.
Everything else.
Absolutely.
So much.
Yeah.
So much hard work. It takes hard work to keep a house. A 1950s house, you could eat off the floor. You know, every meal was always made. The clothes were always taken care of. You know,
There's
the
not
gardens were
robotic
beautiful.
Do you guys feel in today's society, like versus say back in the 40s and 50s, like do you think, it seems to me from what I see is like back then there was a lot less complaining from both sides. Like men and women, I feel like nobody complained back then. They just did their job, what they did, and that was it.
I agree.
And today I feel
I
like
agree.
it's all about me. It's all
Well,
about
it's a
me,
competition.
Me. Yeah.
And
feel
I,
like
I
more-
struggle with that personally too.
Yeah.
You know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it just seems like
Yeah, I think there were just roles, we'll call them gender roles and gender
Right.
norms, and
Sure.
everybody.
well, you didn't have social
accepted
media,
it.
so you didn't
Right.
see you didn't see everything. All you seen was your next door neighbors. That goes along with you know, the whole keeping up with the Jones. Well, now everybody sees stuff on social media, so they're trying to keep up with this and this and this and this. Well, the Jones lived right next to you back in the 40s and 50s, you know, so you knew exactly all their problems. You knew what was going on.
Well,
You know,
to be the devil's advocate, I think there is an amount of, though, if there were problems, you just didn't know it.
Oh,
Right. Absolutely.
And that I
Behind
think,
closed doors.
I think that's a key thing.
Yep.
So no one ever learned how to deal with issues.
Yep.
They just didn't deal with them.
Right.
I could see
That
that
is
too.
true.
And we have a
No.
whole nother side of issues we have to deal with.
Mhm.
Our kids are on social media. Our kids have access to the world that
That's
the
the
generation
thing.
before never had.
So
Absolutely.
my daughter, and he got to see it because she pulled it out in real time while he stopped over my house last night. But she had gotten a sticker on Friday.
Oh gosh.
So the PE assistant teacher, it was his last day on Friday, and she's in 4th grade. And she goes, "Dad, look at the sticker I got. I got it at school on Friday from the assistant PE. It was his last day." And I'm reading it says, "This girl knows how to handle her balls."
Oh, jeez.
What?
To a 10-year-old girl.
To a-
What?
Yeah. And yeah, right there. Or that's
I
what-
sent it to my wife
But,
because we were both pissed.
That's inappropriate.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah.
like
That's
this is my
inappropriate.
essentially
I took
my
a picture of it, and I'm like, okay, maybe it was an innocent mistake. They didn't know it was a pile of stickers. Maybe so. I sent to the principal today, and the principal, great principal, did respond. He goes, "Thank you for bringing it." He goes, "I honestly had no idea." He goes, "I know they had bought a whole roll of sports stickers," and he goes,
Yeah.
"I didn't know these were in there." He goes, "We're checking them over right now." He goes, "I'm guessing there might be others in there too."
well and
And that's
So he was-
unfortunate.
Yeah, and he
to them.
apologized. He's like,
Here's the thing.
And I just said, innocent mistake.
yes.
I'm just letting you know because I hate for all these other parents
But
to.
so me and him are sitting on his dining room table. Amelia, his
Yeah.
10-year-old, and then his older daughter
Yeah.
Evelyn, 15 or however old she is.
15.
The three of us got the joke on the sticker, but Amelia, the youngest, doesn't
Luckily
get the
didn't
full
get it.
compassion of the,
Yeah,
which is a
sure.
good
Thank
thing.
goodness. Thank
Right,
goodness.
right.
But and she's looking at Dad, going, "Why are you mad?" And the three of us, because his teenage daughter's going, "That's not a good sticker."
No.
You know, she's
No.
old enough to realize what the
No.
intent, not the intent, but the manifestation of that
Yeah.
sticker
Right.
means.
Yeah, it's something like I would hand out at work, but not.
Yeah,
Not to
yeah,
kids.
or
Yeah.
buddies at
Yeah.
campground or something.
It
Like,
might be
Well,
good for a
it's-
construction
It's
site.
also
you know?
the type of sticker that shouldn't just be in a general roll of sports.
No.
or in
things.
elementary school.
So I mean, obviously it was overlooked, and someone probably Amazoned a roll of stickers. I'm sure.
exactly.
But yeah, so well, things pop up all the time.
Yeah. So, staying on the subject a little bit, how do you guys feel? There's been a lot of talk of when it comes to custody battles of child support, you know, with wives and husbands being equals.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about the whole, you know, a dad having to pay thousands of dollars a month for child support, even though they're equal parents, equal 50-50?
I feel it comes 100% down to fairness. Well, so here's the interesting thing. I don't know how. I have gotten into watching a lot of these videos in the past couple of years on YouTube's of custody battles.
Oh,
Okay.
And so
It's not a YouTube video search. I'm really
That's-
going for
I didn't know
it.
where he was going with that
no,
sentence.
no. So what I think it's really needs to be fair and square.
Yeah.
So even if the male had been the breadwinner of an entire relationship, if you split the kids 50-50 and the other person's capable of making money, but hold on, if the other person did not have a career and a job, they're going to make less money. So yes, at some point in time there needs to be something allocated until the children are of age. That's it. But if the other person's capable of making money, they need to get a job, and then they just need to make that amount of money, be whatever it may. Because nowadays you can go out and get a job making a fairly decent wage just without even trying.
I think, you know, yes, I think that's a good point, and I think also there are plenty of relationships still where the man is the breadwinner,
Sure.
and because of that, the wife has not had to,
And that-
because that's been
Yes.
accepted in that marriage.
Sure.
And so,
Right.
Obviously, there's all kinds of caveats to this,
Right.
right?
Correct.
So,
Oh,
like,
correct.
It's a loaded
you know,
question.
so you have like, you know, then the question is, well, is the man the one that decided to leave,
Yeah.
and he was the breadwinner, and the wife, you know, never worked the job for the last 25 years? So where's she gonna go?
Right.
What skills has she built up? So the guy should be the one to shoulder that burden, I think. And maybe there is a, hey, well, okay, court says this, and in 5 years we're going to reassess. But I guess stripping all, going off on a rabbit trail on that side, which is, interesting. But then you also have, I think, traditionally courts have come down on the men harder.
Right.
I have no verifiable stats to back that
Right.
up. I
Right,
just think
right.
in general, I think that's accepted.
Yes.
You know,
I
but
think it
from
tends
what
to
from
be.
what I've seen,
It's getting
yeah.
better. I think it's getting better.
Yeah, and that's where I think it does need to be. It's not.
It needs to be
It's
realistic.
not right just to assume.
I will say different
that the woman
counties
should
are all
get-
different.
What
kids.
caused the events? I think and this was where it's really hard to get into the nitty gritty of that. You're talking opinions at this point. It is not
Right.
it is not something you can just lay down. But what caused the split is very important.
Yeah.
Well,
I
and if
think
so.
so.
My biggest debate on this, and I'm not divorced, so I'd never gone through it. But if the children are 50-50 to the husband and wife, so 50% with dad, 50% with mom. If dad has to work on his 50% without the kids, and the mom doesn't, how is that fair to the father figure as it is the mother? You know what I mean? Like if she's alone for 3.5 days a week, and he's alone for 3.5 days a week, why does the dad have to pay so much more?
I think it's required that the woman needs to have a job, and if she chooses not to, then it should be assumed that she is making
A minimum
at least
amount.
minimum wage, but her capabilities should be accounted for, and they actually do that. So say she's college educated, or whatever the case might be, she could get a job that makes her $50,000 a year. If she chooses not to, that's on her.
Right. No. Yes.
And that
I
should
agree.
be added into the math of that. And no, you shouldn't just be giving her money to living her life. You're split for whatever the reason be. If it is because the guy's a shyster, everything needs to be taken, period. But a lot of times, because life's 50-50, the woman's a shyster, she should get nothing.
Right.
Then that's a
And
gray
it's-
area, because who's choosing?
Yeah,
Well,
who's
the judge
deciding-
is
yeah,
necessarily
the judge
judge is
And that's scary.
And I've learned that I've gone to court for my foster kids, and I have learned that a judge that leans a certain direction is a lot harder to pull your way if they're on the opposite side of the line.
And trust me, I can.
We know that very, very well when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
We're very in depth with kids, and the judge makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
We've likewise been in foster care. We kind
Yep.
of talked about this, but beforehand, we did foster care for about 5 or 6 years, I think.
At least, yeah.
At least. And yeah, the judge makes all the difference. The
The
people,
lawyers make
the
all
lawyers,
the difference.
the amount of work that they're actually going to put into it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, I had really bad
it's
experience.
It's true
with one.
though, right? Like, I mean, it's not just the judge; it's the whole system.
We had a kid for 1.5 years. His name, well, I shouldn't say his name, but we had a kid for 1.5 years. We went through like 5 agents in the same agency.
Yeah.
21-year-old interns.
I've been there. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yep.
it was a really bad case, and I got my own lawyer because I felt like the state lawyers were trash,
Good for you.
and I still lost, but I fought with every penny I had and every flesh I had, and it's at the end of the day, the judge didn't care, and the judge was going to do what she was going to do.
And I think that going back to the husband and wife thing, splitting and all that, like that's a difficult thing too. And obviously, again, we could go many different directions. But like, if one of the two in the couple holds all the money, the one can hire a really amazing lawyer, and the other one's just stuck. Like, so there's somebody I know actually that went like $45,000 into debt because her husband was like, "I'm out," and she had to
Oh, really?
go get a lawyer.
Right.
And then he dragged her through
Right.
just like being a total asshole. Like, I'm just gonna, every chance I get, drag this out, not show up to meetings like I'm supposed to, not, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously, it doesn't mean that guys always do. I mean, women can do that too. But just in that scenario, that's what it was. And so he had the money to be able to afford this. And she's like, I've never had to have a job before. And now I'm $40,000 in debt
Right.
because of this divorce.
Right.
Well, there's so many, like you said earlier, there's so much
Yeah.
stuff we could debate on that. But for me and my faith, like when I proposed to my wife and I got married, I was dedicated 120%, right? Where nowadays I feel like people don't put in the full effort into marriage that they should. You know,
I mean,
so
marriage is supposed to be 100-100, not 50-50. So
right.
That is amazing.
I like that.
That is an amazing statement. I've never heard that one before.
That's good. Did you just come up with that?
no, I
Oh, okay.
read a lot
I was
of
gonna give you
marriage
credit.
help
Yeah.
books.
Why didn't you just say I did? No one
I
would know.
Fact check.
It's the benefit of bourbon.
Yeah.
I need to say something
Yeah.
that was happening. So for the people listening, our adoptive daughter was their first foster child,
Oh, okay.
and so this was a years long process. That obviously in the very beginning they were more involved than we were, but to the point of we were there. Everyone was there every single day. And like you said, employees for the system are in and out, in and out, in and out. Lawyers are in and out, in and out, in and out. But all along we kept track of all of this stuff. And at the very end, when it came to the actual revoking the rights from the parent, there was a lot of, it was all in the gray area. It was up in the air. And the system is talking like this. So Dan, myself, and our two wives sat down and we just spoke for hours this one night. We just spoke for hours. And we had kept records and things like that. Of the four of us, Dan is the most eloquent and capable of hashing this all together. We compiled all these different things, and we wrote something, and then Dan read it
In front of court.
in front of court
Wow.
at this one.
And they let you read
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I want to say that this is key, is that specific judge, and that's where it matters. Was an amazing woman. And she was like, oh no, we're listening to this. And she listened to it. And when it was all said and done, she was like mad. She was like, why did it take the foster parents to say all of these things?
Wow.
And she actually questioned the attorney and just, all of these things. And she's like, well, no, this all makes sense now. And no, revoked, done. Because
crazy.
they didn't.
It's a great time for a commercial.
We were just talking off break.
Commercial break.
Commercial break.
I'll stick a
commercial
commercial in
break. About
Drink a Guinness. It's
mar-
good for
well,
you.
marriage isn't taken.
We'd love to have
sometimes-
Guinness as a sponsor.
We would love to have Guinness
Yes,
sponsor.
it gives you strength.
We'll talk to them when we go to
Um,
There you go.
We do have Coopersville Brewery that we have to go to. They said they were willing to sponsor us. So we
Whoa,
gotta
whoa,
go
whoa,
there.
whoa, whoa, whoa! I have a mug there.
You do?
Yes,
Oh.
absolutely.
Yeah, the owner wants to be on our podcast, so we have to.
They've been
he
down
wants
here.
it
Somebody's
to-
been down here from Coopersville.
Their employees have been down here, lots of them.
Yeah.
but
Well, you
not
guys
the
just
owner.
sit at the bar nonchalantly.
Yeah,
and
they
then,
want
like,
us to
at the
have
end
a
just like mosey
podcast
on.
there. So
Absolutely.
But yeah, we were just talking about fights in marriages and sometimes needing a little bit, 30 minutes apart just to come together and,
Don't eat the onion
I feel like
rings.
that's don't eat the onion rings. Don't eat the onion rings
They're
without
never going to
asking.
know what that
She
means.
doesn't watch this, so I'm good.
Don't eat the last of anything. That's the rule in marriage.
Oh, that's it. That is a good rule.
Don't eat the last of anything unless you've checked.
Yes,
That's a good
that
idea.
is very
Wise,
important.
wise
We should put
words.
that on a shirt. That'd be good. Don't eat the last one.
Don't eat the last one.
Cookies, onion ring.
I will say though, I think
Beer.
this only goes for husbands and wives. So if we're gonna go there. When it comes
Kids
to
don't
kids,
have a vote.
Kids have no vote. No. So if my kids get mad at me for finishing something, they can go jump in a lake. But if my wife wanted something, I should respect that, really clearly. But the kids, fuck them. No, it's just, no.
Well, he's been using strong words against his kids.
We're talking about murder.
Yeah. I don't even want to say the M word. I'm good.
The M word. This is being recorded.
If I ever
That's the
run
M
for
word.
Congress, I don't need that
goodness.
clip coming in.
We'll
I get
bleep.
that.
Yeah. Well, so the whole it was interesting because I think we're all like 3 of the 4 of us, and Josh, you didn't say, but our natural instinct is we want to fix it. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh,
That's a
interesting.
guy-
All
that's
of
a
us.
guy's
Yeah.
thing.
talk it out right
Guys
now.
like to fix
But
it.
that's how
Fix
guys
it.
are. If I
Yeah.
piss him
I'm just
off,
gonna move this over here.
if I piss Josh off, 5 minutes, we're gonna be drinking a beer together, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
get it over with.
Yes.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Did you say jerking a
Yes.
beer together or drinking? a
Drink-
beer?
drinking,
Oh, I
not
didn't hear you.
jerking
I'm
together.
sorry.
You
my-
know I don't do good
No.
with
My
the-
ear.
Yeah.
No.
So I mean, but you guys have learned, right? I mean, you're saying like you've learned like that doesn't work.
No, with 15 years of marriage, it doesn't work
Yeah.
for me and my wife.
That is the difference between women and men. Like women will get in. Okay, women and women, they'll get in arguments with other women.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh,
And
it'll
they
last
might not-
years.
They don't. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
men. I seriously, and this is guys I worked with. We literally had fist fights at work.
And it fixes itself.
A day later, we're back to being best friends. We're like, yeah, let's go have a beer.
One of my closest friends
That one is
absolutely is also one of my employees, which has developed.
That's a dangerous game.
It's a dangerous. It's
hard
a dangerous
because-
game.
Yeah.
And him and I have come. We've never come to blows,
Mm-hmm.
but it has been in the past, I would say 5 years, the most aggressive arguing I've ever had. Like, and I'm comparing that to my wife. I mean, I'm mad.
Were you friends before work? Before you worked together?
Nope. We started working together before years ago, and then it switched to just happenstance that he became an employee.
Okay.
So we were co-workers, and then he became an employee. And it came to blow, but we're still the best of buds.
Yep.
And I think it depends on the relationship. Dan has, when I said see people at their lowest lows, Dan has seen me pretty low, and I've actually threatened him physically, and he was there for me.
Yeah.
He was there for me because that was my lowest low.
Yep.
And he accepted me
Yep.
and understood I was at a low,
Sure.
and that is so important to know that people are fallible.
Yeah.
They can screw up and make bad decisions, but
Yep.
they're not bad people.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I think that goes in just overall.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are not
I mean,
bad
you've
people.
done stupid things. I've done stupid things, and
continue
that one thing I like about guys though,
I continue to do
and
stupid
having
things,
good
yes.
friendships is one of your best friends is they'll be the first one to call you out and doing a dipshit thing.
But they're the
How-
first.
you know,
they're
How
the
many
first-
times have I called you out on a lot of stuff?
But they're the first one to
likewise.
to forgive you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go, you fucked up,
Yep.
and forgive you in the same moment. It's like a miracle.
Yep. I mean, he's called me out many times for doing it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you're 100% right. My bad.
Yep.
Yep.
Th-
And same
there's-
thing. Like, I'm like, dude, you cannot say that to your wife.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
don't.
There's people in life where those relationships are worth fighting for,
Yeah.
and there's some that you decide like, I don't care, whatever. They can do whatever they want to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Yes.
where like
Yes.
And your
him
gut
I-
will tell you that.
Your
Yeah,
gut will
like,
tell you
we're
that.
gonna fight for
Absolutely.
that. My wife and I, we're gonna fight for that.
Yeah.
There's other people, but then there's other people. It's like, yeah, I really don't like what they just did, but
Yeah. That was so dipshit, and everything they've always done is dipshit. Done.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
you're
I
like
think you have
done.
different level of friends, right?
Yeah.
Like we have friends that, yeah, I mean, I'll go drink with them. Or,
Yeah, we
you
have
know,
friends
if their
that
car's broken, I'll go give them a
Invite
jump.
over,
But
party, whatever.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go to the end of the barrel with them. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or pick them up out of the mud,
Right.
maybe, per se. But yeah.
No, and so I'm a very forgive and forget person.
Mm-hmm.
I've had employees I've had to let go, but I still
It's hard.
But I still care about
Yeah.
them.
It's hard though, isn't it?
You're
You're a business owner, and
Yeah,
you
and I
know,
still care about them. And just today, one of those gentlemen called me, and he was asking me about advice
on what to do for his business future and accepting jobs and stuff. And that is awesome because it's a healthy relationship. I didn't, because I care about people. When I let them go, it hurt me. And as a new business owner, I learned you have to learn to go, this isn't good for me. This isn't good for me, but I still care about them.
Yes.
And that's important.
That's something I've seen with him that I've just really admired. And as a business owner, he just said it, but then like we've had some of those people down to the pub after he's let them go, and we have a great time.
Right.
Yeah.
And they want to be around him. I mean, he freaking let them go. They're unemployed now.
Yeah.
But he did it in such a kind way, and I would even say generous way, that they were able to maintain a friendship, which is really
Rare.
insane.
That's rare.
Where do you see that? They knew ultimately he had their best interests at heart.
Yeah, I mean that's the hardest part. I mean, I'm a business owner. For me, like personally, that's like the hardest part is like because I become really close with all my employees because
it's a small business.
it's small business.
It's a small business.
And I've had people I had to let go, and for me, I'm like, I've always had a talk with someone. I'm not just gonna fire you. You're not out today, but I'm like, hey, I don't feel like it's working out. I'm not firing you, but I need you to look for another job. I'm still gonna pay you,
Right.
and this is me
Right.
giving you a grace. And I respect. I'm respecting you. I want the same respect back. Like I still expect you to show up to work. Till you find something else, but I know you have a family, or I know whatever. I'm like, I don't want to throw you out,
And that happened in particular
that's
with
hard.
a guy that I like so much today, and he stayed. But he stayed, and there was almost like this peace. And he stayed, and he worked until he found something else, and he got better as an employee. And then that's kind of the thing is, you need to come to terms with you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and younger people in particular need to learn to get their ass kicked, because unfortunately I wasn't a Nazi about things,
Right.
and then when you're a Nazi about things, it was you'd have been gone. You'd have been gone a year ago, and you're almost causing more of the problem. And there's another employee that I just love him to death. And I gave him chance after chance after chance, and I had to let him go. There was issues, but we're still friends. But I was learning. I was a new employer,
Right.
so I was learning how to deal with it. But I don't want to be that guy that's a jerk.
Yeah.
So if the world can understand that,
Yep.
if you want a jerk for a boss, fine.
There's plenty of them out there. Go for
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah.
The first thing.
I care about your bills. I care about you as a
Right.
person.
But you also have you
Right.
you are the owner, so you have to be.
Well, you have to
responsible
look out for the
head.
company too.
Right.
The company
I mean,
matters.
And that's where
If this guy's not pulling his weight, well, if we go under, the four of us lose.
Right.
Where
I mean, I'm in a.
Yes.
I mean, I'm even in a spot right now where I have someone that works for me that I don't really have a lot of work for,
Sure.
but they also have responsibilities. So I'm going out of my way to make sure I'm working my butt off trying to make sure we got enough work coming in to cover everybody's salaries right now while we're slow.
Right.
Because I don't want to let anybody go based off that. And I'm trying, and I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I just don't, that's where I'm at. I don't. It'd be so easy for me to say, I gotta lay off.
Yep.
But then I can't live with that. That's to me, that's like that's like a failure on my part. So I can't.
Early in construction, I was raised with the weather's bad, you don't have work. It was that's just what it was. And for years, I struggled with that because I started my business, and I remember that hurting me,
I can see that.
and so I constantly made sure there was always something to do. And so for the first several years, I made sure it didn't matter. Maybe you missed a day in the winter or whatever.
this year is the first year where I finally was going, you know what?
This isn't.
No, I know where
Nobody wants to work out here.
Well, no, I'm going. My experiences were you could miss days and days and days of work. Some companies would just lay people off. I finally come to the point where it's a rain day. I think I finally have learned I've taken care of them enough that, we'll get through it. You're going to miss a couple days. Sorry.
You work in the elements. I mean,
Like-
I work
Yep.
in the elements too.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yep.
you just can't go outside.
Yep.
I can say that all my employees are hourly paid, but no matter if they've worked 32 hours in a week or 20 hours a week based off, sickness or whatever, or if they had to leave early for days and not use their vacation, they have never gotten paid less than 40 hours.
That's good for you.
That's
That's
amazing.
impressive.
Yeah.
Because that's
And-
hard. That's hard to do.
Yes, it is.
Nope.
But
And-
I'll take the hit. I mean, trust me,
Yeah.
I've struggled for months of
Yeah.
taking hits myself personally, and I'm like, I can't consciously, like,
Right.
I don't know, that's just me.
But
Your
I've,
your
I'll make
employees
it
are going
work.
to be asking for a resume
no, because so my employees
or for application.
my employees can go jump in the lake because I also pay way higher than average wage.
Yeah.
I pay way higher than average wage,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that lends towards. I do that because I care and I don't want them to
You're
hurt.
good.
Obviously,
person.
yeah. Obviously,
I
I'm
don't
joking.
want
My
I'm not
employees
trying to
like
blow-
my
I'm not trying to
benefits
blow
because
myself.
I provide private dances in
I
my
provide
office.
no benefits.
No,
Zero,
I'm just kidding.
zero benefits.
Josh likes to take his shirt off.
Yeah.
Whether they want to see it or not, I'm like, you're getting paid to watch
So-
this. You watch it. And
Before
I'm
we
like,
go like crazy, why don't we pivot and talk
To
about what?
Talk about what?
Like what kind of vehicles do you drive as fathers?
Oh,
In this new world.
This is interesting.
Because
It's
there's
an
a lot of
interesting
discussion
question.
on this.
Does it
We
matter?
You have 5 kids, so I'm guessing
yeah.
I'm gonna say at least a minivan.
No, he switched from the.
Well,
I can't say
okay,
what I was
okay,
going to say.
okay.
I can't say what I was going to say.
Oh no, I know
I
what you're
can't
going to
say
say.
what I was going to say.
I know what you're
We're
going
on
to
a podcast. Can't say what I was going to say.
He can say everything else we can't say with the drive.
I'm going to
Well-
tell you I can't say it.
No. So, yeah, I mean, we've had as much as 7 kids in our house at one time with foster care. Right?
Oh, wow.
So I mean, like, we've had to have a vehicle that will,
support.
yeah. And so I mean,
The Suburban.
yeah. So we had a Suburban.
Suburban for
Extended
years.
for years,
Suburban.
and
Yeah,
it was just
yeah.
like, this is what we have. We gotta have this.
Yeah.
And
That's
his
not
wife
the-
crashed into everything with it.
And that's not. Oh boy, if she listens to this, she'll be like, I did not.
If she
Yes,
made it,
you did.
If she made it this far into the podcast, you're good.
So I mean, that was forever. And then as we've had, like, I've got a 20-year-old, and she moved to Germany for a year.
Wow.
Back, but
wow.
I've got a 18-year-old now. She's at college, and now my 16-year-old's about
Hold
to get
on.
her license.
We're 40-something minutes
How-
in this, and you're just bringing that she lived in Germany for a year.
Yeah.
Wait, how old
How
are
is
you?
that on you
I'm
guys?
43.
Yeah, but how was that? I'm 44, so we're
Okay.
close. But
Yeah.
how was that on you? Having your daughter live in Germany for a year, that had to have been hard.
You're not 43.
Oh,
I'm
it was
44.
It was
It's
fun.
it's
It was
yeah.
fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
It's fine. I was at the pub every day. It was fine.
I think
I built a pub. That's it's fine.
it was. I mean, it was cool. I was excited for her. I mean, she went. We took her there, but she's a very independent girl. Like she is. So I mean, I wasn't really concerned about her because she's very independent.
But still, I mean,
She-
Was it
like,
school or work?
No,
or-
she wanted to be an au
Did you
pair.
did you
She
go
just
visit her
decided
then
it.
at all? or
What's that?
Did you visit her
I don't know
while
if
she
I
was
did.
there?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So like my wife and I went, and because we wanted to meet the parents, even though
Sure.
technically, like, she was just going.
Yeah.
As a
She
kid.
was basically
she-
going, I'm going.
Yeah, she graduated from high school.
Dad's
That's-
like, I'm gonna go with you for a minute.
That sounds
But
like
I mean, that's
Evelyn.
part of, like, you're like,
Yeah.
hey, that's your right. You're done with high school. Do whatever you're gonna
Sounds
do.
like Evelyn.
And that's what she wanted to do. I can't stop her. She's 18.
Yeah.
She's
Right.
graduated.
From the outside of this situation, he handled it like an absolute champ. It was a screwed up situation because when your kid is that age and decides they're going to go to another country, you want to kill them. Like, no, like, really.
You two should have a podcast.
No.
This would be a
And
good
so
blend.
she does and she learns life lessons and has
great.
a great time. And she was supported so wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
I would have lost my friggin' mind.
Well,
No,
you
I
were
mean-
friends with them. Weren't
well,
you
listen,
already losing your mind if
yeah.
she was going? Okay.
She,
Oh, I was.
Okay.
Oh, I was.
like halfway through, a
Oh, I
little,
was.
little over halfway through, she was struggling.
Yep.
And I just said, all right, I'm buying a ticket tomorrow, and I'll be in Germany in
And you did.
3 days. or
That's what
whatever.
I'm getting at.
And
is
so-
he supported her
That's awesome.
wholeheartedly, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, from everything you guys have, I mean, I can't speak for Chad, but I think he'll agree with me. Like, you guys sound like amazing dads. Like,
We
and I
try.
met you. This is the third
We
time
try.
No,
we've hung out together.
I do not feel like an
And
amazing dad.
you
Many,
are.
many times. Okay, whatever.
the
Sure.
good ones never
but like
do.
you've got. I went to Germany, right, to see her. She gave me a laundry list of things that I had screwed her up with.
But you have 5 kids and you haven't
And-
killed one of them yet.
Why do we
Okay,
keep
stop saying kill.
Okay, I know.
I
Well, no,
appreciate
I
what
wanna
you're
hear the
saying.
story.
It just, I mean, she was struggling, and she also within that struggle was like, these are all the things that you guys did wrong to us. And I said, listen, I'm not going to fight you about that. We always knew someday, you were going to grow up and you were going to choose your own way, whether it was the way that we tried to, push you towards because we think it's important, or whether it's not. And we also know, like, you may hate everything we did.
Sure.
And that's fine. And also, we know we've screwed up. So I said, I want to come, because again, she was struggling with some other things. And I just said, I want to come be there with you, be there for you. I'm not coming to tell you you're wrong about, I'm coming to love you. And I said, when I come, I would love for you, I'm going to take you out. I would love for you just to write down your thoughts of all the things that, like, you're frustrated with, because you've got 4 other siblings at home that could benefit from whatever you tell me.
Oh, good idea.
Like, there's things that I might hear and be
That's
like,
true.
yeah, I screwed that one up, And so I
a
want to
good
hear
point.
that. And it's not gonna be a confrontational meeting.
Sure.
I want to know.
Yeah.
And so she was a little like, I got plans. I don't want you to come. And I was like, I told her, I said, I'm coming. I'm going to be at an Airbnb in your city, and if you have time, I will come be with you. Otherwise, I'll just stay there.
That's amazing.
What a dad.
That is
You need an
amazing,
award.
seriously.
You know what the coolest thing? The
amazing.
coolest thing is, the end result of that is, we go to Odd Sides every Tuesday for trivia.
Yep.
She is here now, and she is part of our group. I love her so much. It's really weird to say this, because she's like the wrong age. She's not even 21.
She's 20.
She's
Yeah.
20. She's 20 years old. She is slowly becoming what I would say is one of my friends. That's an awkward thing to go from. I knew her as
A baby.
baby.
Yeah.
That she's one of the group.
Yeah.
And she's growing
That's your
up,
daughter,
and
yeah.
she's being amazing.
And she's so
that's
fun.
Awesome.
She is such a
She's
fun.
so fun.
person
And
to
it
be
and
around.
it says something that she wants to hang out with the 2 of you.
Yes,
Yeah. You know
what I mean?
absolutely.
As
Yeah.
fathers and
Yes.
father figures,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if your kids want to hang out with you on their off day, that says a lot.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm
You
like,
know.
Selah, can you drive me tonight? And she'd be like, yeah, no problem. I got you. You know,
That's
she's
awesome.
she's an amazing girl, and
That's awesome.
it's because he's a pretty cool dad.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
You should feel super proud of that.
I mean, being a dad it's hard. And
It's-
you
it's
see your
hard.
failures, they're right in front of your face. All
It's
the
the
time.
You're
hardest
making
thing.
it up as you
Yeah.
go.
But
Oh,
even
yeah.
like,
I mean, nobody really knows.
Yeah, no,
Nobody
exactly.
knows. I make it
And
up all the
that's-
time.
I've told her, because she's the oldest.
You ever
I've,
get, like,
I've
when
told
you-
her, you're the guinea pig.
When
Yeah.
your kid's young and you
I was the
punish
guinea
them for
pig. I was
something,
the
they're
oldest
like,
in
well,
my
that's
family.
not fair. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. But it could
Yeah.
not be fair. You might be right. But
Yeah.
I don't. This is what it is.
Yeah. Our other ones, the younger ones, like this year, we even changed some things that were around social media and when you get it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, what? But you and we were like, yeah.
And I
we let
learned.
her do it, and I saw how that
Yeah.
worked
Yeah,
out.
that
you
didn't
know?
work great at all. No.
Yeah. And I have the right to change my mind.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, that sucks, but
Another thing with
It
all the
is.
kids is, you're not that one.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I was
Oh,
just
yeah.
gonna.
You're different. You're different.
yeah.
With the foster kids, you obviously
So-
saw different levels of.
Here's our
Struggles.
our issue, is one's a boy and one's a girl.
I've always had boys.
No, so our adoptive daughter is a daughter,
a female.
That's how that works.
She is
No matter what else I
She
teach.
is familia. Our natural born child is a boy, and so there's already going to have been difficulties that we don't know what was because she's adopted and what's because she's a girl.
Right.
That there's those issues that we've struggled with a bit.
Oh yeah.
And early on, there was a lot of serious struggles because of adoption and whatever. And now I'm going to go ahead and say it's flat out. She's a girl. He's a boy.
They're still kids.
They're still kids.
I mean, you have some struggles once in a while.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
three of them. The 3 foster boys I've had so far, each one of has had their own issues. The last one has been the toughest
I will
one.
say though, when I've had them sleep at,
when
sometimes
they're with
his
your-
foster kids will sleep at my house sometimes for
sure.
sleepovers.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're all amazing.
No, they've had their issues, but yeah, learning that part. I mean, we've gone to therapy with
know,
2 of them.
Sometimes
just
you might have to
because-
repeat things
Yep.
more than once,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they're overall they're amazing
Well,
kids.
they've all had trauma, and that's,
Oh, and it's
Yep.
and it's not fair.
It's not
They've all
fair.
been through things that
It's
no
not.
kid should ever have to
Exactly.
go through.
oh,
Exactly.
exactly.
Like
And
I
I-
can't even imagine that feeling. And
And
'cause I've never
I
been through it,
think that there are issues for us as parents that relate down to the foster children.
What do you mean?
This is very key, I think. I treat my daughter very differently. She's my princess, and I love her more than anything. I give her too much leniency.
Okay.
A, she's my princess, and A, she's adopted. My wife is the opposite end of the spectrum. She is more harsh and more lenient, and some of it is because girls butt heads, and some of it is because she's adopted. And so there's compounding issues, that come into play with this scenario, and you have to take all these things into account. And it's unfair for the children and unfair for us but you come out of it you need to work at it. And that's been a long-term issue. Yeah, so
I think with the foster's kids, their biggest thing is, are you just going to walk out the door?
Oh yeah.
oh God.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when we first
Yeah.
came, that's the security part of it. The blanket, I'm just here for a couple months, And then like our house,
We didn't have to deal with that.
with our house, I treat my house like my father treated his house, where the door's always open. Like if he's having a bad day or whoever has a bad day, my porch, we can always sit on the front porch and have a drink.
Yeah.
But my kids too, I'm like, I love you guys, but 2 things in my house: don't lie to me, and don't cheat. I said, and that's the lying part's the hardest part with foster kids, because they've been lying their whole life. Our oldest foster kid, he is 7 now, and I finally got him. It's been over a year, but now even when he drops this and breaks the glass, he would lie to me. Oh, Josh did it.
Yeah.
Now he comes to me and he's scared. He's not scared, but
Right.
he understands that he did something wrong.
Yeah.
But he goes, Dad, I broke the glass.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then I go, okay, what should be the discipline of this? Should you lose game time? Should you lose, whatever. So that's the hardest part with the foster kids
So
is
it's
the
almost
security.
like you're gaining trust with him.
Right. Because they've just been banished.
yes.
I mean, banished to the world.
I will say
Yes.
one thing about the open door comment. Like that's so important. Like having an open door policy. And I don't. And this
This
is
house
true.
is
This
never
is
locked.
not made up. Like I don't know how many times like I've showed up. I've been drinking on his front porch, and he'll all of a sudden come out because his dogs bark at me. He's like, "How long have you been here?" I'm like, 25 minutes. Like I'll just
You
sit on his
sit
front
there.
porch having a drink.
He goes with a bottle, brings his cup, he sits there. I'm like, he's got out of the shower. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I've been here for like a half hour.
And the same thing, like I'll come home or come out of the shower or whatever. I'm like, I'll go in my basement. He's sitting in my basement helping himself to my whiskey or whatever. I'm like, how long have you been here?
Yeah, that's amazing.
He's like,
we both just walk into each other's houses.
Yes, but the more the issue is
is I have interrupted coitus
Oh, good
far too many
Good
times.
Dude, you gotta knock, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta knock.
No,
Are you
here's,
kidding
no,
me?
No, here's the
Why?
issue. No, this is why. This is why. They're the ones with 5 kids. And they would let the madhouse go, and they knew once the kids left,
That's our chance.
that was their chance. But they didn't lock the door.
Oh no.
So it's on them.
Why are
We're
you
talking about
them.
the house,
I
not
have so many questions, right?
It's on them. If you let the kids run rabid
Yeah.
and didn't lock the door, it's on you.
But how long have you been friends? And you know if the kids are gone, he's dropping trowel.
But I
right?
didn't know. But I don't know. I don't know where they're at. They're in the woods. They're under logs.
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know when
They're
I
not
go to
always.
the
roof.
They're not always. Yes, absolutely. Finn and Ainsley have been on the roof of my garage.
Yes.
Many times.
That's why when I go to
Yes.
Chad's house and I see a pineapple hanging on his
Oh,
doorknob, I know
don't
not to go in.
Don't go in.
I like pineapples. I don't
This
know what's
is
wrong
the
with
second
me.
time this
Yeah.
has come up. So not. I mean, maybe this
He's
is the third.
okay. So his kid, not knowing, bought him a pineapple shirt a year ago.
Upside down pineapple.
Upside down pineapple shirt.
And that means something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it
it
does
does.
mean
You know that?
something.
I
but-
did not know that.
So, but his
Oh.
kid was so
Yeah.
proud to buy it for him, so he had to wear it.
Yeah. So I get home from work, and my wife, she meets me in the hallway before I see the kids, and she goes, "Your son bought you a shirt. You are going to wear it with pride." No comment. Oh, cool. Like I thought it just said something stupid on it.
Yep.
Dad, I got you this shirt, and it's just upside down pineapples, and I'm
So he
like,
sends me a picture. I'm like,
What does that mean?
swingers.
Yeah.
it means you
It
swing.
means
Like
you're open to
campgrounds.
swinging.
It
Yeah.
means swingers.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
like you're
So
open to another
campgrounds,
couple.
I thought
and
it was
you,
flamingos.
no,
it's
still
upside
pine.
down
You have a
pineapple.
upside it. You
Yep.
hang it on your
Come
little
on
camper
over.
door.
I'm getting one of those.
Oh.
I'm so.
I mean, to
getting
each
one
their
of
own.
those.
That's not how I live my life, but if you
I
want
don't
to,
either, but
Okay.
I want one really bad. Can you imagine the shit that would happen at campgrounds if you hung that flag?
Oh, your door would be knocked all night long, dude.
You realize we started this by
So you
what vehicle do you drive?
All it
All
takes
right,
is a
so,
little
yeah.
turn.
We never got to what vehicle
No.
you drive.
No, I know.
So we have never done this on a podcast, but we've talked about doing it for the last 14 episodes. I don't know if it's okay with you. I don't know if it's okay with Mandy.
Okay, shit's getting weird here.
And
What's
if
going
it-
on?
and we're just asked for 5
there's
minutes or so, would she be open to being on the podcast and getting a wife's perspective over some of the
That
stuff?
right there.
Is that her?